welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Khaurelo. If you're new to my channel, you are welcome, and please don't forget to subscribe and hit the post notification bell so that you don't miss out on any videos in the future. So today I am going to be doing an episode 2 of the beginner series. So in today's episode, we're just going to basically be talking about application of your foundation routine. So if you guys want to see that, stay tuned, and let's get right into it. So we're obviously going to start with the primer, and I don't think I'm going to be showing you guys the products in this video because I've shown you guys the products in the previous video. So if you want to see that, watch the previous video. I'll put it in a card up here, this side or that side. Just check that out when you're done watching the video. Now we're going to get into foundation. So I've already done my brows. If you do want to see my brow tutorial, I'll leave it in the description, but I'll also put it in the card. So foundation, I am using the Maybelline Fit Me foundations. I'm using 355 and 335. I'm just gonna mix those two together and hopefully get my perfect shade. So I'm just going to apply that, and I'm using a flat concealer brush. Let me show you. I'm using a flat concealer brush to apply this foundation. This is what I use as well for my brows. I usually use this flat foundation brush. This is what I usually use, but honestly I prefer to use a beauty blender over a brush, just because whenever I use the brush I always go back and blend with this. This leaves, like, it absorbs a lot of product, and then it sort of gives you like a sheer look, and then this one will make sure that you get all the foundation on your skin. So if you're a beginner, I feel like it's best to go with a beauty blender, because you know that you're not gonna have any patches or whatever. Your application is going to be smooth and flawless, unlike with a brush. With a brush, like, you have to know what you're doing. Some brushes leave like streaks on your face, which is not pretty. So I prefer a beauty blender, and this beauty blender is from Edgar's. It is by, gosh, it's less than 100 rand, I think. I'm not swiping, I'm tapping the foundation and just making sure that it's well blended and everything looks even. And when you're applying your foundation, you should make sure that you apply a little bit like under your chin, so that you don't find that you see where your foundation ends. It's not a pretty look. And now I'm just going to carefully do my forehead. By the way, when you use your beauty blender, just wet it with water and then dry it with a towel. That way I feel like it makes a more flawless application than when it's dry. So usually I wash mine every time before I use it. Now I'm going to conceal, and for concealer I'm using the Maybelline Fit Me in the shade 45. So concealer, I apply this under my eyes, on my chin, just so that my chin can stand out a little bit, and then on the bridge of my nose to give my nose a little bit more shape, and a tiny bit on my forehead. Beauty blender again. This time I'm using this top part, the tapered part, and then I'm going to start with my chin. And when you blend, you don't want to spread it too much, just dab like in one area, and then afterwards what I like to do is use the back of the beauty blender and then just like blend around where I have applied the concealer, so that it's sort of seamless, like it doesn't really show where it ends. Yeah, so every time I apply concealer, I do that at the like edges of where the concealer has ended. And then I'm just gonna go over that with the back of my blender. Also, with the bridge of your nose, you don't want to spread the product too much. You still want it to like stay in the same area. I'm gonna take that up to my forehead so that it blends together with that. Okay, I am going to like slightly look up so that I can get in all the way like underneath my eye. And then what I do is blend underneath my eye and then go down a little bit. Sort of in a triangular, like I want my concealer to stay in this area. Okay, I'm going to now take that product and then place it underneath, on the top of my mouth in this area over here. And then now I'm going to use the back of the beauty blender and just blend over here so that it's seamless. It doesn't indicate where the concealer ends. So yeah. I usually take the concealer and put it up onto my eyelid, but I forgot to do that, so I'm just gonna apply a little bit on my eyelids. So that this will serve as a base for my eyeshadow. So I'm using a loose powder. The powder that I'm using is by Black Opal. It is called Salt Velvet Finishing Powder, and I'm using the shade medium. Again, I'm using my beauty blender to apply the powder in the areas we have concealed. So this is what I do. I just like dab it in there like a little bit, and you have to blow some off because so that you don't have a lot of powder there. And then you just place it wherever you've concealed. So when I do my nose, I like to pinch the beauty blender because I only want it in the middle of my nose. I don't want it to go everywhere. And then I'm going to now do my forehead. I'm going to use a powder brush. You can get this from Discam. I got it from Discam. It is by Color. So I don't remember how much it was, but it was, I think it was less than 100 rand, maybe like 80 something rand at the time that I bought it. So I'm going to use this to just dust off any excess powder, and also using that excess powder to set the rest of my face. And to contour, I'm using a powder contour. It is by NYX, and as I've said, all these products, I've mentioned them in my previous video, so you can go and check that out. To apply the powder contour, I'm using this tapered brush. Like, it's kind of dirty, but it gets the job done. And to contour, I measure with this part of my ear, what is this called, whatever this is, and then straight down like that. That's how I know where to contour. But obviously, like, our faces are not the same. You just go with how your face is. But it's like in the hollow of your cheeks if you do this. Yeah. And I also like to, I also contoured my forehead, by the way. I just go around the perimeter of my face, and I like to do some contouring over here. This also helps, like, to hide where your foundation ends. So yeah, I like to do this, and also it helps to get rid of the double chin. Do I still have a double chin? Not really. I need to contour underneath my lips, and this just helps, like, to give my lips sort of a pouty look in a way. You can still use the same brush and then pinch it and then go in like that, or you can use a smaller brush so that you can be more precise. So I'm using like an eyeshadow blending brush. Guys, my brushes are dirty. I was filming a video yesterday, so I didn't get time to wash my brushes, so fine. I'm using this one. It's a blending brush. It's an eyeshadow blending brush. You can get this anyway, but this particular set is from AliExpress. I'll leave the link in the description bar if you want to get a set of brushes, but you're going to have to wait for a really long time for them. You can buy a set of brushes from Discam or even China Mall. I'm just tapping like a little bit because you don't want to contour your nose a lot. Like, you don't want your contour on your nose to be evident. Like, you just want it to look like you have a snatched nose naturally. A little goes a long way. Like, you can always like increase the intensity if you want more, but it's better to go in little by little. So I like to contour like here so that my nose looks like a button. I don't know if that makes sense. But yeah. This is the blush that I'm using. It's by Yardley. So here are your options. You can use the same brush that you used for contouring to apply your blush, or you can use a brush that looks like this. Like, it's a smaller version of the powder brush. Like, it looks something like this. Yeah. So I'm just gonna tap once, and then also with a blush, you don't want to like go in like with a lot of product. Like, if you want to increase the intensity, you can always do that, but increasing it gradually, not like all at once. Like, you're going to ruin your face and you'll feel like you want to take everything off. I'm not doing eyeshadow in this episode. You'll see that in the next one, hopefully. I don't know if it's going to be the next one, but you're going to see it soon. So I'm just going to use the blush, as I've showed you in the previous video, that you can use your blush as your eyeshadow. I'm going to set my face, and I'm using the Woolworths face makeup setting spray. Yeah. Now for highlighter. So highlighter, I use this fan brush. I've been using this for a couple of years now. This brush is from it's by Boutique. You can't see it anymore, it has come off. Okay, so this brush is by Boutique. It is from Edgar's. I don't remember how much it was, but their brushes are not really, I wouldn't say affordable. It's better to buy brushes in a set than one by one. They sell them individually, so you'd need to buy each of the brushes individually, and it's more expensive buying them that way. So I just tap a little bit. Like, it's really important to just go in little by little instead of like a lot from the beginning. I place the highlighter at the highest point of my cheeks, like on my cheekbone almost. I just like go back and forth. I don't even know, like I'm using this motion but going back and forth. I'm not necessarily doing this, I'm using that type of motion. To also apply some on my chin, just for like an added glow, like not a lot. And also I use like a circular motion, and sometimes on my forehead, but today I don't feel like applying on my forehead. And then I'm going to also apply on my nose. So I'm just going to apply on the tip of my nose. And I'm also going to apply like in between my eyes. I don't know why this way it works for me, other than applying it all over my bridge. I feel like when it's that way it looks way too much. So when it's like this, in my opinion, it's popping. Your foundation routine is basically done. Let me just apply my mascara and lip gloss and then we'll talk. Okay guys, I am done with my foundation routine and showing you guys the applicators that you need and how to use them. I hope this video was helpful. I'm really bad at explaining at times, I don't know why, but I hope you guys get it. And yeah, let's just go through the brushes or applicators that you need for your face. So I've used 4 brushes and a beauty blender, and as you saw, for the majority of the time I used a beauty blender to apply most of the products on my face. So I'll leave a link to all the brushes that I have that I've purchased on AliExpress, and then you guys can check them out. However, brushes from AliExpress or China Mall, they will not last you as long as the ones that you get from Discam or Edgar's, but for a start you can start with those. Yeah, so I hope you guys have enjoyed this video, and if you have, don't forget to give it a huge thumbs up, and also don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.